What is going on, guys? Welcome to Sunday Bully Live. Today I'm coming from an entirely different location, as you can see, but we are making it happen nonetheless. You're going to have to bear with me. I'm not in my usual place, but nonetheless, man, we're going to make this happen today. What is going on? We have Eric Hernandez right off the bat becoming a new member, man. That's the love. We appreciate that. Let me go
Pues
ahead.
claro que sí, cabrón.
That's right. And we do this every Sunday at 10 a.m. And I know a lot of you are scratching your eyes because due to the time change and whatnot, it is completely understandable. Um, but nonetheless, man, we got this thing rolling. Today, we're going to be talking about upcoming breedings. You started early today, says Isaiah Feliciano. Ghost Dog Kennels says 10:01 a.m. Good morning, Bully fam. Salute and the chat. Uh, for those of you that don't know, there has been a time change. Um, so what's happening is a lot of people are still used to sleeping at this time, but they'll slowly trickle in. That's not an issue. Yeah, yeah. Just so you know, Isaiah. Good morning, Ryan AP. Inserata says it made it 2 hours earlier here instead of one. Oh my goodness. And I know you're out in Arizona, Inserata. That's incredible. That's incredible, actually. Hi, Raul. It's Caroline from Blue Bullies Crew. How you doing, Miss Caroline? By the way, Miss Caroline, about a year ago, look at the pictures that she sent in with her dogs on Nuvet. Notice the difference. Notice the difference. I'm sorry, Miss Caroline. I just have to take your comment down for a second. Um, Notice a difference in roughly what is this 18 days. Look at that. Look at that. What an improvement. What an improvement. Miss Caroline, we thank you for those pictures you sent in last year. But yeah, there has been a time change across the board, and I know quite a few of you are having issues with it. I could tell you this morning it was quite different. I can tell you that. V Bullies team saying, "Good morning, Bully fam. Rise and grind. Let's get this knowledge. Early bird gets the worm." Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Today we're going to make it a little different. I'm going to talk to you guys about upcoming breedings that we're actually um, going to have in place. And then, in addition to that, we're just going to do Q&A. So, whatever questions you got, if you're a member, we're going to make sure we answer every single one. Dupree Anders says, Cujo's Kennels checking in. What's going on, Raul? Just gave my boy Nuvet for the first time today and currently waiting on results. Dupree Anders, do me a favor. I know you already know. Make sure you take a picture today. This way you have a before, and then go ahead and take a picture within a week, within two, and within three. And then please share it with us so that we could show the results of what Nuvet can do. Absolutely. This past week, I got hit up um, for a couple of things. Actually, one of them was um, I noticed there was a breeder that actually went ahead and bred, and he didn't have his 24-hour service vet in line. If you noticed the last live that we did, we were talking about um, what happens when you have an emergency and you don't have an emergency. Your vet doesn't provide 24-hour emergency service. You end up paying so much more, right? When you go to an emergency service vet or an emergency vet clinic. And I shared my experience about how much it cost me and how not only that they were trying to spay my female and they made sure all the puppies died. So it's definitely not a good thing. Caught me early this morning. Yeah, there's been a time change, and I know a lot of people are probably getting or shocked to realize that there has been a time change. I didn't find out until this morning, actually. What up, G Line? All right, man. So real quick, I know I'm jumping around. Let me just give you guys a heads up. I already spoke to my people on Friday, but either way, just in case you had missed it, we actually have some breedings lined up. Right now, we are looking at adding this boy right here. If you're not aware who this is Grand Champion Shamrock. All right. And basically, he will be going into this female right here, our female Cadabra. All right. And in addition to that, we decided to go ahead and breed him as well to our girl Mocha. And in addition, we're also going to go ahead and breed him to our female Cafe. So we basically got Shamrock going into 3 of our females. Um, Guys, I don't know about you, but to me, Shamrock is a walking standard. It's there's a reason why he is a grand champion. Amazing looking boy, breed type to boot, and definitely we want to bring that into our yard. And I feel that he matches up well uh, with Cadabra. Definitely. Unfortunately, I don't have Mocha's side shot, but I'm going to try and get that done this week so we can post it and you guys can see it, as well as our girl Cafe. And Cafe is probably between her and Mocha, they're probably the most boned up females we have. Um, Definitely Cadabra. I mean, she's got bone as well, but the other 2 girls got a little bit more. However, I think Cadabra maybe bringing a little bit more. I don't want to say breed type, but if you look at her top line, you look at her front, um, elbow to chest ratio, her head. She doesn't necessarily have a short muzzle, but she has a medium muzzle. Okay, and I really like that. I think more likely than not, Shamrock should be able to dominate in these particular breedings. So, like I said earlier, he'll be going to Cadabra, and then followed up with that, he'll be going into Mocha, and then lastly, he'll be going into Cafe. All right. So, just want to share that with you guys because I know I haven't set up the banners yet. I have some people in previous breedings that didn't take that are I'm having to speak with them so I can move them over. Once I get all that settled, then you're going to get a notification through QBN app saying that we're accepting deposits on these litters. If you're interested, then at that time is when you would make the deposit. All right. Yeah, Beefcake says Tyrone is out. Yeah, the thing is, Beefcake, we used Tyrone on 3 females. None of them took. No fault of the male. Sperm was good, so I'm not blaming them. It's just a mere fact that I can't delay my program, for an extra 6 months. Um, Seeing that I already have a Tyrone female in my yard, it's truly not necessitating me to use them as a stud at this point. I'm just going to move on with the, next planned breedings, and then eventually we'll probably come back to that female if we need it, or if we just want to include it in our program at that time. G Line says, looks like a great move. Might get some extremes out of those litters. Well, we'll see. I'm not necessarily shooting for extremes, guys. Somebody was asking me what type of size are you going to be getting. I can't guarantee. All I can tell you is my females are Excel. Obviously, Shamrock is standard. So my best guess at it is you're going to get some large standards and you are going to get some Excels. That's pretty much what I'm seeing there. Isaiah Feliciano says, hey fam, is it possible? Could you take a side and rear stack photo of Mocha when you do the side one? Yeah, I'll do that. Again, I'm not in my usual place right now, so as soon as I get back, I'll make sure we do that. Have you seen Shamrock in person? I have not, but it is possible that I'll be seeing him in person. Well, I take it back. I have seen him at a show, but I'm talking about like putting my hands on him. I have not. And more likely than not, I should be able to see him uh, within a day or two. I love putting my hands on the dogs. It's totally different than seeing them from far away. while they're strutting in the ring. So there's a difference there. Montana P says we have a Shamrock granddaughter and she carries his build, thick and great neck. Yeah, he's got the bull bulge. Um, um, or the, some people call it the crest. I like to call it the bull bulge. It just reminds me of a bull, and yeah, he definitely has that, and that's definitely desirable for the breed type. Inserata says, I've seen a Shamrock XL son, and he is towards extreme side, but very typey. Yeah. Now, look, I'm not shooting for extreme, but if I get extreme, you know, you could always breed that to, in the future to other XLs or even large standards that I would have, and just bring it back. I mean, it's the only reason I don't necessarily the only reason I'm not necessarily shooting for extreme is because I feel that maybe some of his orthopedic health is compromised. Also, the ABKC has done away with that particular class, so I'm not necessarily striving or shooting for that. That's not to say that appears that just because of that it's a pet quality pup. No, not necessarily. If it still carries breed type and it doesn't have any exaggerated more than two exaggerated flaws, then you can definitely work with that. Yeah, the neck, absolutely. 2M Bully says, you got my pockets because of Lucky Land X. All right. Isaiah saying, and is it possible to get up to date weight and head size on Mocha and Cadabra? Yeah. Chewy Houston is asking which Shamrock. Grand Champion Shamrock. I'll bring the picture up here in a second. You probably missed it, but I'll go ahead and show it again. Just give me 1 second while I bring it up. And here you go. This is Shamrock. Okay, Grand Champ. I'm sorry, I keep calling him just Shamrock. This is Grand Champion Shamrock. If you go, say, to this picture right here, okay, which is the updated ABKC, I guess, standard picture. I mean, this boy. Actually, that's not the most updated, I believe. If you look at the updated ABKC picture and you look at this boy and you put them side by side, uh, he basically is the standard. So Shamrock, like I said earlier, we're going to go ahead and breed him to Cadabra. The one thing I love about her is she's very compact. She's got a medium-sized muzzle. She also has a short back, which is, for me at least, is very, very desirable. And I feel like he can bring some more bulk to her, thicker bone as well. And also head size. I mean, she doesn't necessarily have a small head, but I mean, his head is obviously bigger, as well as should be. He is a male. But definitely, I think that one of Shamrock's most amazing attributes is quite possibly not just the head size, but the breed type in the head as well. If you look at that stop at 90°, I mean it doesn't get any better than that. The other females that we're going to be breeding Shamrock to is going to be Mocha and as well Cafe, right? And if you notice, both Cafe and Mocha, they're our most boned up females. These two females are double N on the IGF-1. For those of you that don't know or haven't heard me talk about it, the IGF-1 is the growth hormone or the mammalian growth hormone, if you will. And if you're looking for size per se, double N in the IGF-1 facilitates that. We know that there could be only two possibilities as far as what each gene can bring, and the letter N is basically for big, and the letter I is for intermediate or small. Since you get one chromosome from each parent, right, you have an option of getting an N or an I, or an N or an I. Therefore, these girls actually got an N from their dad and an N from their mom. So it's a double, it's a big proposition, if you will. Our girl Cadabra, on the other hand, she's right in the middle. She's NI. So she has the ability to produce big because she does carry an N. And she also has the ability to produce smaller, as she also carries an eye. All right. Let me see. Let me go to the comments. Beefcake says, "Oh, I see that you're trying to thicken up your excels." Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Everything is through a process. If you notice, we try getting the uh, structure more than anything on point first. That's what I worked on. I did away with things like east west, high rears, rear angulation issues, cowhocks. You know, the essentials. I tried to polish that up as best as I could, and now we're going to go ahead and bring that the bulkier, more bone, more muscle, more mass uh, to the structure that we've actually already worked on. Herman Bruce says one of my mentors I guess he drew that picture. Oh, okay, okay, pretty cool, man. Two and Bully says, what do you consider a short back? Um, you know, I don't want to sit here and say, well, if you measure from here and here and this and that, um, it's more of an eye test type of thing based on the dog's mass and height. That's how I determine if the back is long or short. Um, I would dare to say that all three of the females actually have a short back that we're going to be breeding Shamrock to. So it makes it very difficult for me to show you a female that's got a long back. I could tell you Cafe's got a short back. I got to get you guys a side shot, and the same goes for our girl Mocha, and coincidentally also our girl Chanel. Short backs is one of the things I look for the most when I'm trying to keep a female. Um, I don't like East West, as you well know, but I'll forgive a slight East West if you have everything else on point and you got a short back. I find the short back to be very desirable. It helps you fix any type of rear, anything going on in the rear whenever you have to outcross, or at least that's what I found when we've done it. Real quick, guys, I want to let you know also that Nuvet and NuJoint DS are the only multivitamin and joint support that we use. As you will know, my boy Fireball, as you can see here, when he was 20 weeks, he started showing dietary east west. We refer to dietary east west as east west caused because of um, insufficient nutrients in their diet, such as, for example, I've always talked about kibble and how it gets cooked. And once it gets cooked at such high temperatures, it starts denaturing proteins and whatnot. Nonetheless, if you notice, we started adding a supplement. Um, at the time, I didn't know it was Nuvet. I was just adding a lot of the ingredients they had, but not the exact percentages. So you can see by the time he was 2.5, he was completely correct. And nowadays, even though that picture's not perfect, I've made plenty of videos showing how correct this boy is up front, and also mass that he's also gained ever since he's been on Nuvet. If you see that code 513237, that is a code that you will need in order to be able to order Nuvet, because this is not sold in stores. And in addition, you do need a code to be able to order. If you go there without an ordering code, it's going to ask for one. You're going to have one to be able to order. So, Nuve guys, if you're interested, let's go back to the comments and let's see what's going on. Um, uh, let's see here. Appreciate your time and information. No, you got it, guys. Now's a good day for you guys to ask questions. We're going to be doing Q&A. I've had people hit me up and ask me which particular flaw do I consider to be the easiest one to be able to correct on an American Bully. And I have said for a long time that probably East West is one of the easiest things that you can fix. And the reason is because you have less parts. If you were to see, for example, let me bring up this illustration. If you see here in the rear, right, you have stifle, right? You have lower thigh. You're also going to have the femur up here between where it says tuck and stifle. You have the hock back here, and then also the croup right? That's when you're going to start seeing it coming down. Therefore, you actually have, in my opinion, more moving parts back here than you actually have here. Hold and behold, you have pasterns, wrist, obviously, and forearm. The the other thing you have up front that you don't have in the back is this is a straight down proposition, whereas in the back, you have to be worried about the angle you're getting on the stifle. So if the top bone or the femur is longer, okay, than it needs to be, you're going to notice you're going to suffer on your rear angulation. And one of the ways you know that something is going on with angulation is the positioning of the hawk. It should be parallel, okay, parallel to a wall behind it. If it's slanted forward or if it's slanted back, you definitely need to start looking in this area. You're either going to have over angulation or you're going to have less angulation than desired. Typically, what I've noticed with XLs, because people are trying to get size, these bones get elongated, right? And even if it becomes longer by 3/4 of an inch or an inch, as it becomes longer, you lose more and more angulation. All right. I've been asked a lot about that. Join late, sorry, no worries. We know that there's been a time change, and trust me, I didn't even realize it until I got up early today. Shetri says, "Good morning, QB&K." Yes, ma'am. Senior G, do you have any little Powers, or is he retired? I love all your dogs, Raul, but Power, I feel, is the OG of the yard. Senior G, you're going to be seeing in this next video we're going to be dropping tomorrow. I'll be addressing it as well. But unfortunately, this past summer, we had there was a moment in time where it didn't rain for 60 days on my property. This is after a grueling summer, but at the very tail end, we had about 60 days of nothing but dry. It turns out one morning I wake up and I see toads up and down my yard. I went straight to see the dogs. Um, and unfortunately, my boy Power had eaten a toad and it killed him. And I even had toads in the water buckets of three other of my dogs. So you missed the information. No worries, man. I understand. But yeah, Power's no longer with us. He passed away, and let me tell you, this last year was a pretty tough year for us. We actually lost a dog due to a snake bite. We lost Power. Due to the toad. We then lost his daughter due to an autoimmune response after her C-section, where her body was recognizing the red blood cells as being invaders. Therefore, her own body was breaking down the red blood cells, and before you knew it, within 4 weeks, we lost her. So that's what happened. Isaiah Feliciano says, QMBK, Zenor G, I think he only has Macho and Ali with Power blood in them due to Power and Cali passing. Yes, I think you're right, Isaiah. Dupree Anders says, "Hey, Raul, I got my boy on his gorilla milk and I feed him a barf diet with minced garlic." Okay. I hope that you're letting that garlic sit. I hope it's not minced garlic that you buy at the store. He says, "My question is, I only use the diatomaceous earth once a month, right?" No. If you're using food grade diatomaceous earth, um, man, there's really no. I mean, read the instructions, but there's really no um, true contraindication. Diatomaceous earth is literally it's like a sort of a dust, because when you put it under a microscope, when you look at it, it's nothing but crystals, right? And these crystals, they penetrate the parasite's body and obviously have it spill its insides. That's how it kills everything. As long as you're not overdoing it, you're not giving like two big scoopfuls of it, or spoonfuls of it, better yet. Um, you know, I mean, don't take my full word for it, but read the food label, see if it's food grade, see if there's any contraindications, which I've never seen one. And I mean, I give it to my dogs pretty much on a daily. There may be a day or two that, you know, we skipped it for a reason or another, but diatomaceous earth is completely natural. Garlic is completely natural. Now, when you're using garlic as a dewormer, the only reason that it's not even contraindicated. The only reason that is advised not to give it to the pregnant mom, the only reason is that it changes the flavor of the milk that she's actually producing. Therefore, the puppies may not want to drink, and then that obviously that would become a problem. But as far as the raw garlic affecting her, from everything I've read, all the studies that have been done, um, it's not necessarily that it affects her in any negative way. Uh, Tasa, or yeah, I guess Tasa is the only way I can pronounce that. At what age can I ride my American Bully standard bike? Huh? He likes to pull me by the harness. My dog says he is exactly 18 months old. At what age can I ride my? Okay, so I guess you're trying to ask at what age I guess you could ride your bike and have your dog on a leash. Well, I think more importantly than age, I just want you to make sure you're not doing it like if it's over 82 degrees Fahrenheit, you got to take some precautions with our breed. Okay, because even though our breeds could run for miles, the temperature has a lot to do with it. As far as what age, yeah, 18 months is just about the time that those bones start beginning to seal. Um, if you could wait a little bit longer, say maybe as close to 24 months as you can, that would also be better. um, Evan Smith says, "Do you go over the C-section you mentioned earlier about the vets in another video?" I do have a video where we talk. I showed you guys our girl Genesis at the time. She had to have a C-section, and we already have a video like that in this very channel. If you want to check it out, Eddie Gallo says, "I need some questions answered." Well, shoot, man. Today's the day. Isaiah says, "I use diatomaceous earth food grade every day, 1 ounce a day on a light amount of it, and garlic every other day." Okay. And again, guys, however you guys want to apply it. I have people asking me, like, how much garlic do you give to your dogs? The way I normally go about it is a clove, not an exaggerated big clove and not an exaggerated small clove, just as close to what a medium size or regular clove would be. I consider that my 100-pound threshold. So if you have a 15-pound dog or a pup, right, I would cut that clove in half, right? And then I would crush it and I would let it sit for 15 minutes, right? And let there be a reaction, okay, that actually changes a chemical in raw garlic from actually being bad for the dog to actually being good for the dog. But you cannot skip that step. Okay. So it basically, Allen is something that affects dogs, but if you crush it or slice it real thinly or even dice it and let it have a reaction with air, it turns Allen to Allison, and then now it becomes an effective everything for your dog. I have noticed that whenever I start a dog on it, after about 21 days, man, man, there's not a flea that wants to even think about jumping on your dog. But it takes about 21 days to build up. But also, I give it for 21 days straight. Then I give it a 5-day rest. And then I go 21 days again. Okay. If you don't want to be doing the counting or anything like that, like I'm explaining, then possibly what Isaiah Feliciano does, which is a day on and a day off, will probably work for you. Okay. Dupree Anders says, "Nah, I'm being really careful with everything. And I gave him store-bought minced garlic for the first time today. But yes, I also have garlic cloves." Yeah, make sure that if you are buying it from the store, that it doesn't have any type of preservative in there, because that preservative changes the reaction. And at the end of the day, you're really not giving the dog anything, and you may be giving your dog. I don't know if the reaction goes from Allen to Allison or if it stays as Allen, which is something that actually affects the dogs. Shade Tree says, "Diatomaceous earth. I make sure my girl is hydrated. So am I. Also, make sure you keep diatomaceous earth away from your airways or your mucosa, meaning your lips, your eyes, your nose, only because it's caustic. If you breathe it in, man, it's going to irritate your lungs pretty bad, your airways. So make sure you don't. It's like tiny little crystals if you put it under a microscope. North Central Kennels. I thought garlic wasn't good for dogs. Yeah. North Central. I've talked a lot about this. The original study was done by a university in Japan. They fed the dog, I believe, 13 garlic cloves. Now, I will tell you guys, there is a veterinarian. I forget his name right now. He's the one that came out with this from the very, from years ago. He came out and explained that the way the study was done, they fed this dog 13 garlic cloves. So think about it for a minute. Forget about a dog. What happens if I sit you down and I make you eat 13 garlic cloves? I mean, there's going to be some profound effects. Okay. It's almost like, I don't know if it's an overdose or not, but I'm pretty sure it's a higher dose than what you're used to. And therefore, they found negative reactions to a dog when this was fed to it, which then, you know, I can only imagine Big Pharma definitely wants to make a big deal about this because they don't want you to know that something as cheap can be so effective as garlic is. But there is a process to it. You can't just give the dog the raw garlic. You got to either crush it or you got to slice it real thinly and let it have reaction with air for about 15 minutes. Okay. You can't just give it to it raw without doing that process because there's something in there that needs to have a reaction. Otherwise, it'll be harmful for your dog. All right. V Bullies is saying, my dogs get 1 tablespoon of diatomaceous earth and raw garlic. I mean, this is as powerful dewormer combination as you're going to get. 1 clove to every 100 pounds. Yeah, that's exactly what I do. That's exactly what I do. Based on your weight, I pretty much calculate as far as the cloves. So if you have an 80-pound female, you chop off the top 20% of that clove and you work with the other 80%. Have you seen this? Quiptown Dogos, have you seen garlic clove in a jar? What are your thoughts if so? Again, it all depends because I've also seen garlic cloves in a jar that have no preservatives or whatever. They just, they've been stripped. You still got to get that clove. You still need to crush it or slice it and let it have air reaction. You need to make sure that nothing has been added to that. If something was added to it, there's no guarantee that the reaction was able to take effect. And you may actually be giving your dog something that they don't necessarily need. I said, Funny Sound says, flea ticks haven't been on my girl in over 3 months. Yeah. Fleas and ticks won't even, I guess it's something they either smell or taste or something. They just want nothing to do with it. Eddie Gala, can you please send me some raw diets and barf recipes for Favor and the Gorilla Milk too? No, Eddie, no. I stopped doing that. And the reason I stopped doing that, Eddie, is because we have videos that you could actually click on and watch. Okay, so you can go to our homepage. There's a search field. You can put barf diet and you can watch the videos there. And you won't only be relegated to one recipe. You're going to have many, many, many recipes that we've come up with for puppies and for adults, for muscle building, for whatever. Okay, so it's a matter of just you doing your homework. Okay, Drippy 65 Kennels. All right, man. What is going on, man? Nothing but love. I appreciate you for becoming a member. There you go. That's it. We do this every Sunday at 10 a.m. and I'm starting to do this every Thursday at 8 p.m. Sheichi says, I've used garlic for decades. It's amazing. My mom taught me always crush and wait 15 minutes before serving for humans and dogs. Look, so Sheichi's been doing it for way longer than I've even spoken on it. Budge Warrior says, is there another supplement y'all recommend? I can't access the website for Nuvet in my area. Find a multivitamin and joint support. That's the only other option I could offer you. The reason that we recommend Nuvet is because the multivitamin and joint support that comes with Nuvet right here is actually human food grade. If you know anything about the pet food industry, for example, particular words such as feed makes a lot of determination or determines behind the curtains what type of animals can and cannot be used right? So for human consumption, for example, a diseased animal cannot be used, but for feed, it can. Okay. And that's part of the reason why, as well, I can imagine that kibble also gets cooked at such high temperatures. But the problem with that, I mean, the good part about it is it kills off, I could imagine, most bacteria and fungus and anything that would be there. But in addition to that, it denatures a lot of the proteins. Also, some of the vitamins that is poured in that they're able to register after the cooking process. I mean, are you really getting the bioavailability of that after it's been cooked? So the main difference is this particular product, Nuvet and Nuvet DS. I know it says NuJoint. I'm sorry, NuJoint Plus. I recommend NuJoint DS, and only because it's double strength. This is a 90-day supply, Nuvet, and the reason I say double strength is because based on your dog's weight, depends how many wafers you must give. If you buy the regular NuJoint Plus, you might find yourself giving more wafers than you would if you had the double strength. And I'm just saying that so they could both coincide and run out at the same time, rather than having one bottle run out, after 2 weeks of starting to give, and you still have another what 70 something days. So that's the main reason. Let me go to the questions here. Let's see here, man. All right. All right. Let's see. We have Pocket American Bully Mama. What is a good home remedy to help with a cut in a puppy's mouth? Hmm. Um, in the mouth area, there's something called I think it's called methylene blue. I think that's I know the term in Spanish, but I'm trying to translate it in my head. It must be methylene blue. Uh, I don't know anything. I would recommend you to contact your vet, really, just to be on the safe side. Um, I know methylene blue I've used in the past. I've probably already consulted a vet about that, but I'm sure there's got to be other products in the market that you could get over the counter that you could give to the dog. But don't go running and like wash your dog's mouth with Listerine or anything like that. Some of these products may contain something that's called xylitol, which is nothing more than a sugar substitute. And xylitol is also found in peanut butter, by the way. And you give this to your dog, and xylitol is actually pretty lethal. Um, so make sure. The Blue Bullies Crew says, how often do you give garlic? Well, like I said earlier, I give it for 21 days straight, and then I give them 5 days off, and then I do it again. But you can do it many ways. Isaiah Feliciano, who commented earlier, said he does a day on and a day off, and that may just be easier. All right. Saw says for his bones. V Bullies team, I just buy the garlic regular. I don't understand all that pre-prep stuff. It just costs more money to save you literally 3 seconds. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes uh, they go the extra little step to charge you that extra full buck, right? Shei says, careful buying garlic from China. Yep, that's the other one. And if you see that raw garlic and it's really, really white, there's no like coloration to it or whatnot. The reason you got to be careful from garlic that comes from China is because I guess they bleached their garlic, or I'm not sure if they're using something to make it seem more white. But if I understood at some point that I read on it that it goes through a process, and that process may actually affect the animal in a different way. So be careful. Eddie Gala says, okay, all right. Evan Smith says, my dog paw pads are losing the black pigmentation, which is causing it to be lighter. Is that normal as they get older? Wow. That's an excellent question, Evan Smith. Um, I have not experienced that, but also you got to realize my dogs are in a yard, uh, you know, all the time. Inside of the cages, we have pea gravel. Every time they step, the pea gravel displaces. So they're not necessarily, walking on asphalt or, on a normal basis. So I don't know if that may be the case for your dog. Um, I couldn't answer because I mean I answer based on the experiences I've had. I've never had that. Appreciate the game you give, bro. This coming from Smoky Perception. Number love, man. Make sure to become a member, guys. We do this interactively every Sunday. If you go down below in descriptions, we have a link. Just follow that link for as little as $5 a month. I'm going to answer all member questions. And we know you're a member because you have this little thing over or next to your name. If you don't have it and I'm running out of time, you're a non-member and you're asking something, I might not be able to answer it. Because obviously members will come first. In addition, we also have mentorship level membership. It also includes a one-on-one 20-minute FaceTime with me. If that's something that interests you, once a month we can sit down. We do a 20-minute one-on-one FaceTime. Also, I'm accessible to you through text. If you have any questions and that sort of thing, we can definitely go step by step. If you just got a pup, if you're looking to acquire, if you have upcoming breedings, whatever questions you have, definitely through the mentorship program, we answer it on a one-on-one basis. Dupree Anders, thanks, my man. I appreciate the feedback like always. I'll just get more garlic cloves and keep them off the store-bought minced garlic. You got it, man. Absolutely. You got it, fam. G-Line says, I got a new lilac female like 3 weeks ago. She's 7 months and has never eaten raw food until she got here. Total transformation. Yeah. Man, raw food. Listen, guys, I'm not telling you guys to feed your dogs raw because it's going to set you up for failure. Total opposite. I used to feed kibble years ago. I was a big proponent. A particular kibble I used to feed in my yard, particularly to my pups, was Victor Puppy and the teal bag. And unfortunately, I got a really bad situation with pups, and I had to turn to raw. And the minute I turned to raw, I noticed within 96 hours I was fixing problems that I thought at one point I might even have to put pups down. If you don't believe me, just within this channel, we have a video called Fix Feet. Look it up. It was done about 2 years ago, and you're going to see our female Athena, our current female Athena. In fact, let me show you a picture of her right now. Let me bring her up here. Where you at, Athena? Here she is. This girl right here. If you see her as a puppy, her legs would completely bend. And we totally corrected her within 96 hours. So, the diet truly matters with our breed, along with the supplements that you're giving. All right. I have a membership in another account, but it's not showing on the chat, but we can figure it out when you have the time later. Right now, it's time to learn. No worries, man. No worries. I appreciate it. G-Line was saying, okay, yeah, we answered that. Isaiah says, what's the best way to prevent and kill tapeworms? Now, listen, like I said, I like my dogs to be on raw garlic and diatomaceous earth. However, I make sure, and it's one of the main reasons whenever my property gets any flooding, I try not to let my dogs out. And that's because they love to run around, get hot. And the minute they get hot, they're just waiting that half second where I can't see them to try and drink, from that water. If you let your dogs drink from standing water, you're going to be in a world of hurt. And parasites such as tapeworms are notorious for that. That would be the first thing: is avoid standing water at all costs for your dog. I also understand that tapeworms have a particular medication that you must put your dog on in order to be able to get rid of them. Okay. The effectiveness of garlic towards them, all I can tell you is I've never had a tapeworm situation in my yard. So it only leads me to speculate and say that it is effective against tapeworm. But nonetheless, if you take your dog like you should every 6 months to get checked out, and he comes up as tapeworm positive, then that medication, I know it's a particular medication, don't remember the name off the top of my head. The dog must be put on that. And I believe it's for like 30 days. Shaytree says, I started growing garlic because I'm obsessed with it. It is amazing. Yes, I couldn't agree with you more. Budget Warrior, is deer meat okay for dogs to eat? Should I give it raw or cooked? Well, yeah, definitely deer meat is something that dogs can eat. It is up to you if you want to feed it raw or cooked. Obviously, if you're feeding it raw, there's more of a possibility of that deer has parasites, or anything going on, to be able to transfer it to the dog, which would probably cause you to have to deworm twice a month rather than just once. I was asked the same thing about a wild boar a time back, and my response was the very same. You're going to be feeding, game animals. My best suggestion is make sure that um, you're deworming at least twice a month. Sabueso says some reasons for paw pad pigment loss is dry skin, hyperkeratosis, or certain medications like ketoconazole, preconamide, and vitamin E or glucocorticoids. Wow. Sabueso taking me to the house. I love it, man. Good stuff, man. So basically, that's amazing because ketoconazole is something that they put into shampoos now. I actually buy horse shampoo that has ketoconazole medicated on there. Um, and I'm starting to experiment with it as far as adding it to my combinations. It's just an extra layer of I guess protection, if you want to call it that. Kyle's letting you guys know, man, to become a member and to interact with the channel, please click the link below. That's where you can decide what level of membership you want. If you get that mentorship membership, do me a favor. Once you do, download QBN app. After you've downloaded QBN app, I want you to click contact us. I want you to take a screenshot of your membership level and send it to me. Once I get it, then I'll be setting up an appointment with you so we could sit down and do our 20-minute one-on-one consult. Mashetri says deer meat is great. Just have to freeze it first if feeding raw. Yeah, that's the other thing. Michelle, thanks for reminding me. The other thing you can do is if you want to, cancel out parasites as best you can, but yet you don't want to give the food cooked, you would have to keep it in the freezer for 21 days. What this does is, as you well know, water expands once it freezes. And after 21 days, it literally breaks all the membranes and the parasites and kills it, along with whatever eggs would be there. So yes, excellent. Thank you for reminding me, Miss Shaytree. Freezing kills the parasites in the eggs, but I feed it fresh, lightly cooked. That's also that. I've been hearing more and more that lightly cooked. In fact, I was talking to Miss Sally, who is she's a veterinary technician, and she says the benefits of lightly cooked outweigh complete raw and cooked. So I definitely got to look into that. I have no reason to even doubt what she's saying. I also mix in some cow with it. Okay, good deal. What's up, QB&K, all the way from Dallas, Texas? What's up, Drippy? Nothing but love, man. The Blue Bullies crew says, will you bring back the Bully Stack Off? It was so much fun. Miss Blue Bully crew, we just may do it once a year. Last year, for some reason, people just weren't as interactive with it. And so, we had to make a decision on it. But maybe for a 1 month, maybe at the end of the year, grand prize, maybe then people would be more excited to do it that way. So stay tuned. We may just bring it back by the end of the year. Shaytree says, it's amazing how quickly positive results come from Nuvet and feeding real fresh meals. My dog has no more skin allergies and she glistens from within. Guys, I can't stress enough how much raw diet and to me, Nuvet and NuJoint Plus do to dogs. And a lot of people that are doing it, such as Miss Shaytree, are also reaping the results. We're talking about from orthopedic issues that get immediately corrected. Why are they getting corrected? Let's talk about that for a second. Well, if kibble is being cooked and proteins are being denatured and vitamins may be getting denatured or may not be as effective over time, your dog may have a dietary insufficiency. When your dog has a dietary insufficiency, what ends up happening is he starts borrowing from Peter to pay Paul, right, within its body. And that's when you can start running into certain issues. So your dog may be gaining weight, but his joints are not being supported enough, and therefore the body may be pulling, because what the body does is when you're in the anabolic stage, it's building, right? But when you're in the catabolic stage, what it's doing is it's taking away nutrients where it feels they're not priority. So for the body itself, joints, for example, are lower priority than, say, the heart, the lungs, and the brain, right? And also, does it prioritize muscle over joints? It almost seems like it doesn't at times, because you notice that a lot of people that start using kibble almost immediately, east west and issues with the rears almost go hand in hand. Now listen to me clearly. I'm not talking about a genetic pathology or a genetic condition. If your dog has a genetic condition, there's no multivitamin or joint support in the world that's going to fix it. However, you're going to want to get multivitamins and joint support, because if your dog has a genetic orthopedic issue, that dog is going to be in terrible pain throughout its life. So you want to give it the best quality of life. You want to give it a multivitamin and joint support in order to be able to support that. So whether it is, whether even if it doesn't fix it because it's a genetic issue, you still want to give it. And the ones that we use is Nuvet and NuJoint Plus. In reality, is NuJoint DS for double strength. And this is our ordering code, 513237. You need this because you cannot buy it in store, and you can't buy it without an ordering code. All right. Also, if you order these 2 bottles and you do auto ship, you automatically get a 13% discount, which is going to cover most of the shipping, if not all of it. All right. So that's my recommendation. So Ms. Shaytree, thanks for bringing that up for me. Let me see what else we got. Yes, thanks. Yeah, everybody's thanking her, man. Nothing but love. And Emilio Garcia, what's going on, brother? County Life, 570. Is Liquid Safeguard safe for dogs? Ex-dog breeder, current owner, multiple puppies. Storage showed me this. I work there. I'm sorry, man. I don't use it. I can't talk about it. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying I can't talk about it because I don't use it. I only talk about like the things that work for me and what I use. North Central Kennel says, is raw pork okay to feed to dogs? Again, if you're going to be feeding pork, just because of, I want to say more of an incidence of possible, parasites, bacteria, whatever. I would definitely deworm at least twice a month if you're going to be feeding raw pork. It's just a recommendation. I know people that have told me that they're feeding wild boar to their dog, and they're only deworming once a month, and everything's okay. And that's fine too. It's just a recommendation I'm stating. G9 says, I don't even defrost my feed. I be thinking it's cooking it. Ha! He's cracking up. One thing, if you're going to be feeding pork, I don't know if you heard this, and I mentioned it earlier. Make sure to keep it frozen for at least 21 days. So that it can kill the parasites in the eggs inside. And if you could do that, if you have a storage unit where it allows you to do that, that's probably going to be your best bet. When my dog was pregnant and nursing, I did lightly cook. Okay, good deal. I've been cooking. I actually started cooking as well. I've experimented with that. You've seen the videos we've dropped, like the easiest, cheapest dog food diet, which to me is just surprising how people can't buy a little manual grinder. And when you buy the chicken bones, like I tell you at Walmart, even if they are $6.72 for a 10-pound bag, what you got to realize is not only are you getting the meat that you're giving to the dog, but that bone, if you grind it, the dog is getting, the minerals in the bones, such as calcium and phosphorus. In addition, it's getting more glucosamine, and it's also getting that bone marrow. The bone marrow is, in my opinion, dog food gold. The nutrients that are there, which is mostly fat and proteins, but the concentrations of it are very good for the dogs. Please bring back the stack off. Like I said, we may, but we may just do it differently. We may just do it at the end of the year. My girl won't eat it frozen. Well, I'm not telling you to give it to her frozen in Serrata. You got to let it defrost. Billy Edwards, how can I single register my dog? Contact the ABKC or UKC. I'm pretty sure if you visit their website, it should be able to tell you. Shaytree says, Budget Warrior, you're welcome. I want to help so much because my baby passed away from dilated cardiomyopathy. I'm on a mission to learn and apply and help others so that they don't have to go through such a devastation. And that is, such a good thing, Shade Tree, that you're doing. You're paying it forward. We really appreciate that in this community and counting me in that community. Million Mile Man, number love. He's saying, please hit that like, share, give us some love, man. Nothing but love. County Life says that's fair. And Saratha, you don't feed it frozen. She's just messing around. Yeah, she's just messing around. Cal says, if you like to advertise any business, kennel, or anything, please go to QBN app, click store, and Holland Customs and text there. Remember, no sales, breedings, only business. That is correct. With that being said, let me just show you guys what cool feature we currently have on QBN app. So, guys, if you're interested in our breedings, once I announce it, if you already downloaded QBN app, you're going to be receiving a notification that we're actually accepting deposits on these upcoming litters. If you're watching this video, say for the first time or whatnot, you could always download QBN app and you can see the breedings there. You can see Nuvet. You can see everything in there. Okay. Let me see here. Drippy says, what is the best dewormer to use every month for your pups and dogs when feeding raw? Drippy, you might have missed it. I said it earlier. Raw garlic and diatomaceous earth. These are completely natural, but the garlic you must crush or you must slice really thin, enough so that it could have an air reaction. So allicin, which is something that affects dogs negatively, can have a reaction with air and become allicin, which at that point it becomes safe and effective for dogs. We do that. We also will use oh god, I'm forgetting the name of it for some reason. Pomiate. We use it like maybe the last week before the puppies go, just to make sure they didn't pick up anything. But nonetheless, diatomaceous earth and raw garlic are very effective. Raw garlic is effective not just for parasites, for bacteria, for viruses, for fungus. The other thing we can use on occasion is going to be pumpkin seeds. That's also something, and the reason I say for occasions is because I said earlier that the only negative about feeding raw garlic, say, to a pregnant female that I was able to find is that it could possibly change the taste of the milk that the mother's producing. So to sidestep that, we would substitute maybe the garlic with pumpkin seeds. And the pumpkin seed has something there that actually paralyzes the parasite. So when the stool comes out, everything just comes out. So yeah, that's how we do it. How should I transition my dog to raw? Man, you definitely need to watch some of our videos. But basically, say this is the amount of food you were feeding your dog. Day one, you would bring it down about 10%, and then you would add garlic on top. Day two, you go down 20% and add garlic, and so on and so forth until the dog is completely transitioned over. You also want to make sure that you're adding, say, like sauerkraut, sour cream. Even if you want to buy probiotics online that you could pour over the sauerkraut and sour cream, that's even better. And that's just to prepare the gut for the raw bacteria that's actually going to be coming through. The app is fire. Thank you, man. Jesse Cloud, number love. Adam Fields, good morning, Bully fam. What's going on, Adam? Off topic, but I want to shout out Daisy Duke. I know you love that girl. City Boy Kennels, QB Kennels. Hey, salute, brother. Nothing but love, man. And we got don't got bully, but all the info is good. Nothing but love. You don't have to have a bully. But Budget Warrior, we have plenty of videos on doing this best way is to do sour cream or sauerkraut. There you go. You're getting your answers, man. Guys, what you must do, and I'm going to leave it on the outro here, is make sure to go to our homepage on YouTube, go to the search field, type in whatever you're looking for, and it's going to bring up the video where I'm talking about it. It's that easy. Let me bring up my guys from the back as we're gonna go ahead and close it out. Steve-O, go ahead and give it to him, man.
Bully Nation, you already know the platform where you come to raise your game and stay in your lane. Catching you on the next one.
Hollywood.
It's your boy Hollywood Holland, your boy in the back of the queue, and we're catching you on the next one.
Guys, you already know. We do this every Sunday at 10 a.m. and we're also starting to do it every Thursday at 8 p.m. This gives you access to be able to listen to us when you're coming from work. Don't be looking at the video. Just listen to what we're talking about. If there's something you need to see, then you can go back and rewatch it at any other time. And this way, we are going to be your #1 American Bully podcast. It's been Raw from the Q, catching you on the next one.